So the Seattle Seahawks have won 4 in a row and now go to 8-5, and they lead the division. Now it's over the Los Angeles Rams rather than the Arizona Cardinals, because the Cardinals season is very much slipping away. But before I get more into it, here is a word from our sponsor, SeatGeek. SeatGeek is a mobile ticketing app for sporting events, concerts, and other events. They make the buying experience easier by the app ranking each ticket from 0 to 10 to see if you are getting a good deal, and you can see exactly where you are sitting. I regularly use that app, and I have had nothing but a fantastic experience with SeatGeek. Use my promo code RoofTopSports to get $20 off of your first purchase. Link to the code, app, and website will be in the description, so take advantage, and thank you. And thank you very much for using my SeatGeek promo code. Now let's get into the game. So today, I didn't watch the game. I was unfortunately not able to watch the game again because hashtag, of course, don't quit your day job. But hopefully I'll be able to cover another Seahawks some other time, looking at maybe next week against the Green Bay Packers. But let's get into it. So what I noticed, and I'll just read off the stats because since I didn't watch the game, but I did want to just put out my thoughts anyway. Geno Smith, 233 yards. He was extremely accurate, and numbers say he was very efficient. 24 of 30, just one touchdown, though, and I can't really say how he exactly did because I didn't watch the full game. I just watched the highlights, so it doesn't really give me really an honest thing, so unfortunately, just didn't watch the full game. But the story of this game was Zach Charbonnet, 22 carries, 134 yards, 6.1 yards per carry, and 2 touchdowns, along with Kenny McIntosh, who also contributed pretty well. Almost 5.5 yards per carry, 38 yards for 7 carries. Didn't really do much, but when he was given the ball, he was still very efficient. As for the receivers, Jackson Smith-Njigba leads the way again, and I'm really glad I drafted him onto my fantasy team. And Zach Charbonnet was the second leading receiver. Tyler Lockett didn't even get a reception. I don't think he even played today. And DK Metcalf, I can only remember him having like maybe one pretty solid catch, and then he had a nice little hurdle of a play. But that's all I really remember. And key things that the Seahawks also did was their defense was actually pretty solid. They leave a team below 20 points. And what else did they do? They performed 2 sacks on Kyler Murray, including a sack at the very end when Kyler Murray was trying to get it at least to a 1-possession game, but the Seahawks defense stopped them, and they forced 4 punts, and the Seahawks offensive line didn't even give up any kind of sack at all again with Geno Smith as a quarterback. So today, this was overall a pretty impressive game for the Seahawks, probably a more crisp game. It's good to see them win 4 in a row. And we can only hope that things do get better for the Seahawks because it's going to have to. Because we'll look at the standings right now, and the Seahawks are leading division by 1 game, but they are only ahead by 1 game against the Los Angeles Rams. And they're always that quiet team that just happens to always be hanging there. It's like they're kind of giving me that Jeff Fisher vibe where remember the Jeff Fisher Rams where they were like a really bad football team, but when they played good teams, and including the Seahawks, they made life miserable, especially for the Seahawks. And Rams seem to be that team. I mean, when you have Sean McVay running the team, you never want to count them out. Cardinals are at 6-7 along with the 49ers, although the 49ers did win, but it looks like their seasons are completely slipping away. But the Seahawks are definitely going to need that division. I want that division. I don't want them to go on the road in the playoffs. Now, let me see. Well, before we go into the next games, let's see what were like keys to the game that I really saw. I mean, I saw Jason Myers kicking field goals, Kobe Bryant with a nice interception that he did have, and Zach Charbonnet with his big play. Hopefully we get to see more of Zach Charbonnet that play in that way. And the reason why he played a lot and stepped up was because Kenneth Walker was out for this game, so he wasn't healthy. But here's looking at the schedule. It's going to be a challenge, I would say, for the last 4 games. Now, fortunately, the Seahawks are at least home for the next 2 games, but they're going to be playing the Green Bay Packers at home on Sunday Night Football, and I'm hoping to cover that game. Then we got the Minnesota Vikings at home, so at least they are going to be at home on this one. And the Seahawks and the Bears. Seahawks will be at Chicago, so that's going to be a tough game because it's going to be cold weather, possibly snow weather, who knows. And then the very last game in Los Angeles. So I do think that this could go down to the wire between the Seahawks and the Rams, but hopefully the Seahawks will do exactly what they've been doing since the 49ers game and their defense has been excellent for the most part. And then they've been able to hold the 49ers to less than 20 points. The Cardinals game, they held them to just 6. The Jets, the only reason why the Jets got 21 points was because of some accidents, like bad kick return, special teams kind of stuff. And the Cardinals, they held them to below 20, so they've been able to play very well on defense for the most part. So hopefully we're seeing more of that dominance thanks to Mike McDonald. But Green Bay Packers at home is going to be a tough game, especially when you got Jordan Love and the Packers. Never want to count them out. Vikings are still trying to somewhat fight for that number 1 seed. And did the Vikings even win this game at all? Let's see what the Vikings did. Well, Vikings recently, they just absolutely destroyed the Falcons. So I expect it to be a very tough game for the Seahawks. And then the Bears, I still expect it to be a tough game. I know that the Bears are a bad team, but you never want to count out the Bears because at that point, they may have nothing to lose. And the Rams, going to be a tough game. So that's all I can say about this game. I mean, I didn't really have much to say. Like, I can say that Zach Charbonnet looked really good, especially with that one big 50-yard plus something touchdown. But I didn't really watch much of the game, so I didn't really have much to say. But I thought I'd give people my thoughts anyway on how the Hawks do. And it's really nice to talk about the Seahawks because the Mariners never give me anything good to talk about. But if you would like to see my most recent video about the Mariners, I'll provide the link, which is going to be right there. And I just want to say thank you very much for watching, and thank you for supporting my YouTube channel. Hit that like button as it will help the algorithm of this channel. And thanks for watching, and go Hawks.